I'd like you to join me on my leadership journey for just a couple minutes. I had an exercise that I did about a year ago with my mentor at Wealthy Street Bakery, and I would like to share that experience with you. So I gave you a little note card that you find on the table. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write down your definition of leadership. So when you're ready, let me know. All right, that's 30 seconds. I got to about 4 words when I did mine. I wrote, leadership is a process, and that's as far as I got. And so over the last year, I've spent a lot of time reflecting about what actually my own definition of leadership is. And so I've kind of thought about my history and where I've been and where I've come from. And when I was 25 years old, I lived in California, and I was applying for a development position at Fuller Theological Seminary. And in my final interview, I had to meet with this really highly esteemed scholar, and he was the president of Fuller. His name was David Allen Hubbard. And everyone who raised money for Fuller had to go through an interview with him to be hired. And so in my interview, it was just a nice chat. And at the end, he said, well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to raise money, so I think we should hire her. And I thought, well, I don't know. I was kind of, it made me laugh, actually. So I was hired, and it was the beginning of a great experience for me, and I really believe it's the beginning of my journey to becoming a leader. And part of my job was to be a chauffeur for the Board of Trustees, and I lived in LA, so we would pick up trustees from the airport and take them to Fuller for board meetings. And my first passenger was Max Dupree, and Max had just recently retired as CEO of Herman Miller at the time, and he also had just published his book, Leadership is an Art. And so now why I think of that story is because while I've reflected back on my experience in writing this little lesson that I've worked with you, I thought about, I wish I had just written on my paper, leadership is an art, because I often think of that when I think about leadership. When I describe leadership to myself and to my friends and my family, I describe it as being a conductor of a symphony, or painting a canvas, or writing a poem. It is an art. And so I took Max's book out again and started reading it, and it was just last week I started reading it again, and on the first page inside it says that one of his 3 mentors in his life was David Allen Hubbard. And I got kind of a chuckle out of it and thought, I wonder if David Allen Hubbard told Max that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to raise money. So, and that's really just a nice story. I really feel privileged that I had the opportunity to know those 2 gentlemen in my lifetime. And so to date, my leadership definition is, it's still, I say, leadership is a process where one influences a group to achieve a common goal. It's really simple. I think it's everyone's definition probably, but it's really meaningful to me because the group dynamic that I work from in my own work is probably the most powerful form of organizational movement that I can think of. And so I challenge you to take this opportunity to reflect in the coming year on what your definition of leadership is. Thanks.